I don't think it was all saved, but there are people out there who think they are. That's right. And this is going to pay off big time come the draft in June. When you get an elite player in the draft that you can build around.
Yeah.
This is the best thing that ever happened to this team.
I agree.
Instead of finishing 10th or 11th under Randy Carlisle.
But the fix was in, but it's the plan. This was the plan. What you're seeing is the plan. That first period, that was the plan. Eric Brewer's the plan. Williams, the plan.
To me, it is the plan now, but here's the thing. When they fired Randy Carlisle, the management didn't want to tank then. They wanted to get better. Usually when you
wanted to get into the playoffs,
right. Put a new coach in, usually you get a bump. People want to play good for the new coach. It doesn't help when you stick the interim tag on the guy, right? But, yeah, the plan wasn't to tank right then.
No.
I mean, they were 2-7 in the last 9 games under Carlisle. It wasn't going great, and clearly they have tuned him out, but it's gotten so much worse, and that wasn't the plan. And it's good for the franchise that this has happened.
Do you have that Phil Kessel clip before we talk to Gord Stellick? You have it there? Listen to Phil. This is
probably an all-time low in hockey right now. It's a tough go.
Yeah. 7:16, Dean Blundell and Company, George Russick, Ryan Faber, Ryan Mon, Kayla Harris, and Helena Balkan joining us on the telephone. Gord Stellick, hello, sir.
Lou, I'm liking the plan.
Do you really? Would you not think at some point that this was going to happen regardless? And do you think that the conspiracy is there's something to it? Of let's get rid of the coach. He's the only thing keeping this baby above water.
No, when they got rid of the coach, they were in a playoff spot, and they really felt that was the best move to maintain that, make the playoffs. I mean, this is a team. This is not the Buffalo Sabres. This is a team that's set up not to be an easy teardown. They're hard up against the cap, and they really felt, and I felt, based on what they did a couple of years ago and the type of team they were, that they were a team that's going to make the playoffs at that point. So firing the coach was part of that plan to try to make the playoffs. Because right now, and George, I hear you, talking about the draft pick, the Leafs can't finish below, Buffalo's 15 points behind Arizona.
Fourth last they can finish forward.
Yeah,
that's a very reasonable spot.
I mean, they could get Jackie Berger or Ole Jokinen or someone like that. I mean, who knows? I mean, to predicate a whole build around on that pick. No, Connor McDavid's one thing, and if you came dead last, you have a 1 in 5 chance of getting him, which really, if a surgeon told you had a 1 in 5 chance of surviving surgery, you wouldn't take those odds. So, you really, the tanking part wasn't, it's a cop-out now for anybody to say, and at least don't allude to it being a plan. It was never part of the plan. I mean, your 4th overall pick's not going to be the be-all and end-all to change things around.
Gord Stellick, NHL Insider at Sportsnet for Sicily Honda, I guess. What's it like doing the pre- and post-game for the Toronto Maple Leafs this year, specifically in the last 2 months?
Well, one thing is the last weekend make it pretty quick, right? I mean, holy mackerel, the first period you can start planning what you're going to be doing. There's nothing compelling about the game when they're out of it so early. But it's the one good part is the shows are generally pretty good because it just reflects the fans. So when I say it's easier, it doesn't mean it's more fun, but it's kind of like everyone phones now with big grandiose picture things rather than before you would talk about, hey, how about that play? How about that goal? How about that? Now it's not about the 60 minutes. It's about what George was talking about or whatever, Connor McDavid, you name it. It's just a total different flavor.
Is it hard to try and find some positive stuff to say about the team when you're doing that?
Yeah, absolutely. But the key right now, and here's the real key, and I was with that ugly team 30 years ago that came dead last, is there are good things. There's good things on the team. You've got to identify about who you've got to get rid of because it's just, the clock has struck 12, and what guys you want to keep that are just really underachieving, underperforming right now, which, is pretty well most of the team, but there's some good talent still there that you want to move forward with.
Who needs to go then, Gord? Who needs to go for sure? Obviously, the captain, Lupul's got to be there. Do you keep Kessel?
Well, I think, I do. I think Phil Kessel will be back. I do. I think Dion's enough. Yeah, I think it's time. I think he's a guy now that dead man walking. He's been through, when I say through so much, I don't mean the fan. The fans have been pretty good here. I mean, the team deserved going, and not that snub they got way back when. That just showed the lack of character and leadership. And as a team overall, I think Tyler Bozak, you've got to upgrade the number one center. I like JVR. I think Kessel will stay. And then a guy like Lupo is, if you can make a hockey trade, you move him. He's got 3 years left. He's 31 at $5.25 million. And obviously, he was part of this latest rebuild that we thought we were over here in Toronto, but he would be a guy that you'd look to move to if somebody thought he had some value.
Gord Stog, our guest, NHL Insider and Sportsnet for Sicily Honda. Is this the worst, and you've been on the inside when things have been terrible, is this the worst you've ever seen as the Toronto Maple Leafs go?
Absolutely. And, if you go back, again, I know 30 years ago was a long time, but it's where the bar was set as the lowest season in 84, 85. The neat part was Wendell Clark was the prize, first overall pick, but you also had, that year you had guys ranging from ages 19 to 21, like Al Iafrate and Gary Lehman, Steve Thomas, Kenny Reggett, Russ Courtnall, Todd Gill. You had a number of guys like that on the upswing, and then you added Clark, then you added Vinny Dalfus, so you had a nucleus of not just Morgan Riley. I mean, right now, I get, Nazem Kadri's older than that age group I was just referring to, and you don't have as many guys that are on the verge of, I'm not saying being NHL All-Stars, but, being NHL regulars.
Nazem Kadri stay with the team next year?
Yeah, he does. I know Don Cherry talked about it Saturday that he can see him being out of town after he's a restricted free agent. So maybe look at trading him next year. A year is a long time. A year is a long time to see how things change and move. I still think that if you do move a Bozak, number one centers just don't grow on trees. So Kadri would be a guy that would get that opportunity to see if he could seize it. Nylander might be that guy. I don't think you might be rushing him a little bit, but you've got to upgrade that position. And I like the way Kadri has handled things this past week. I don't know if he's saying the truth, but he's certainly saying the right things. And you have him back and find out exactly what he is next year.
Well, we'll see what happens. It was fitting. I don't know if I've ever seen anything like the first 11 minutes, and it was just, you know what it was? It was if you would like to take a highlighter and highlight something that typifies the Toronto Maple Leaf season, the first 11 minutes of that game against the second worst team in the entire National Hockey League was fairly fitting, Gord.
Yeah, Dean, you're absolutely right. It's kind of like it would be funny, except it's not funny. Like you're sitting down to watch it. I mean, the first goal in the first minute, and then 3 goals on their first 4 shots for the Oilers. I mean, it was kind of like Friday's game against Calgary when they gave up 4 goals in the first period of 2 of these 3 games in Western Canada, where you think, some guys are from Western Canada, and you think there's just that pride and compete thing, and they just didn't show up at all. And that's the part that's pretty unbelievable. But you're right, that if you showed how, it's when George was alluding earlier to about getting the high draft pick. Right now, the Leafs and the Buffalo Sabres are the worst 2 teams in the NHL. The problem for Leaf fans, if you're looking at getting Eichler or McDavid, is the first half of the season, the Leafs weren't. It was the Sabres and other teams. So right now, they're playing like the worst team in the NHL, but they're not going to finish like the worst team in the NHL when you're talking about getting one of those 2 guys.
And in your experience, do you think what happens if Peter Horchek's company visa doesn't work after the season?
That happened to me when I got fired by the New York Rangers. That's the first thing, your telephone credit card doesn't work, Subtle side. But, what a good guy.
Yeah.
And, but he knows it. And it was interesting, his discussion last night about battling cancer 5 years ago, because it kind of came up about other things and put things in perspective. But, man, if they haven't quit on the coach, they've come awfully close because they sure haven't played for him.
Appreciate your time, Gord. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Dean.
Have a great day. Gord Stog.